A very good evening to the respected chief guest, chief patron, eminent speakers, organizing directors, advisors, collaborators, and dear participants. I warmly welcome you all to the day 5 of training program Future 2026 Faculty Upgradation and Training Upskilling for the Researchers and Education. My name is Deepthi and I have the privilege to anchoring today's valuable sessions. Many participants have joined us through our YouTube channel also. Before moving forward, remembering God and taking His holy name, we begin the today's session. Now, on the behalf of Agriverse Green and EcoFast Agri Solution, our esteemed knowledge partners, ICR Atari Ludhiana and ICR Atari Kolkata, and our valuable collaborators, Maharishi Markandeshwar University Ambala, Guru Kashi University Talwandi Sabo Bhatinda, Akal Degree College Mastuana Sangnur, and Snan Welfare Foundation Trust, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the fifth day of training program Future 2026 Faculty Upgradation and Training Upskilling for Researchers and Education. The thematic area of FDP is Research Ethics, NEP 2020 Research Ecosystem, Research Methodology, Brain-Based Teaching, Quality in Higher Education, Assessment for Learning in Digital Spaces, Teachers as Mentor in Life, Livestock, Crop Health, Beekeeping, Mushroom, Post-Harvest, AI, Digital Marketing, and Cyber Security. Now, moving forward, it's time for the today's session and also a time to introduce you all to our expert and today's speakers. It is my great pleasure to introduce you all to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Sunita Yadav, an accomplished scientist and an expert in the field of research of entomology and apiculture. We are truly honored to have her with us today to share her valuable knowledge and insights. Dr. Sunita Yadav is a senior scientist and head of Department of Entomology, College of Agriculture, Chaudhry Charan Singh Haryana Agricultural University, Hisar, Haryana. With more than 17 years of experience, she has been actively engaged in teaching, research, and extension, having served in Punjab Agriculture University, Ludhiana, and HAU Hisar, and is currently working as senior scientist since January 2023. Her core area of specialization includes the honeybee, pollinators, and scientific beekeeping. She is a key contributor in ICR's All India Coordinated Research Project on honeybees and pollinators and has successfully handled the several externally funded research and development projects supported by the NBHM, CSR initiatives, and other national agencies, focusing on beekeeping diversification, quality nucleus colony production, and value-added bee products. Dr. Yadav has guided 15 PhD and 25 MSc students and has served as the external examiner and paper setter for the undergraduate and postgraduate examinations in several agriculture universities across India. She has coordinated multiple advanced training programs under the Center of Advanced Faculty Training and has been actively involved in capacity building of the scientists, farmers, and extension personnel through training, workshops, and mass media outreach including the radio and television. She has served as recognition for her academic performance and contribution to the research and technology development, including the university gold medals and best performing center awards under the AICRP. Dr. Yadav has an impressive publication record comprising research articles, book chapters, teaching manuals, technical bulletins, and popular articles. She is a life member of the leading professional societies in entomology and continues to contribute significantly to their research, education, and extension in the field of agriculture, entomology, and apiculture. With these words, I now humbly invite Dr. Sunita Yadav to kindly take over the virtual platform and deliver her lecture. Ma'am, the virtual dais is yours.
Thank you for very nice introduction. Am my voice is clear?
Yes, ma'am, you are pretty much clear.
Okay, I will share the screen. Now, what about my presentation?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, and my voice is clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so good evening, everybody. So, in an era where sustainable and low investment enterprises are getting importance, beekeeping emerges as a highly promising venture. So, today's lecture it will focus on beekeeping present status, future prospects, and opportunities as an entrepreneurship. So first, I would like to explain what is beekeeping. Beekeeping, also known as apiculture, it is the scientific management of honeybee colonies for the production of honey and other high products. So other high products, these are pollen, propolis, uh, royal jelly, bee venom. So these are the other products I will explain later on. And for providing essential pollination services that support agriculture, that increase the qualitative and quantitative yield of mainly fruit and vegetable crops. Biodiversity, for conservation, beekeeping is also essential because in the forest area where no other mean is there, beekeeping bees they play an important role in the pollination services. So honeybees, you can say they not only they provide many products, but they also results into the increase in the uh, quality and quantity of the agriculture, uh, like mainly fruits and vegetables, nut, oilseed crops, pulses, all the fruit crops like guava, bear, jamun, apple, mainly these vegetable crops, all those nuts, you can say these almonds, cashew, tea, coffee, spices. So all those crops from which are the major source of vitamins and minerals, they mainly depend upon pollination on the honeybees only. So whatever the products we are getting from the honeybees, like I told you, mainly honey and other high products, if we in totality we take their value and the value what we get by the pollination services of the honeybees. So the value pollination services is much more than that of the all the products we get together. So that's why our government of India also included beekeeping as an input in the package of practices recommended for a particular crop and region. The purpose is that though in the package of practices everything is given, how to prepare the soil, seed rate, fertilizer rate, whatever if some disease appear, how to control it, how to control insect pest. Similar way, uh, beekeeping is included as a fifth input, that how many colonies they are required for increasing the yield of the crop, that should also be mentioned in the package of practices. So that much important beekeeping is there. So honeybees, they are actually less expensive input for promoting sustainable and eco-friendly agriculture and enhancing crop productivity. As far as the history of beekeeping is concerned, it's very old. Beekeeping is practiced since the prehistoric times, but at the time, bees they were mainly they were keeping the bees in the wooden logs, clay pots, and the mention of beekeeping is there in the ancient caves. If you see the paintings, their honey is mentioned. And later on, as Egypt and Greece civilization, as they developed, they started keeping them in the wooden logs, clay pots, even in uh, the houses wall is there. So in the wall hives they were keeping these bees. But the earlier whatever the method they were used, but it's difficult to extract honey from these structures. Neither you can manage any disease or enemy if they attack the bees. So that's why with the development of civilization, uh, more and more scientific beekeeping is developed in India. First major breakthrough was when the father Newton he developed this Newton hive for Epicyrana bees, which was introduced into India during 1910 by Reverend Father Newton. Then uh, next major breakthrough was when European honeybee Apis mellifera. It was introduced into India in 1976 at Bee Research Station, Nagrota, Bagwan. What are these Apis mellifera, Apis rana? I will explain it in the next slide. These are actually the traditional hives. You can see this bee's cap uh, from bamboo-like structure is there. This is the mud hive. These are the pot hive, and these are the different log hives are there. These are wall hives. Then top bar hive they have developed in between the traditional and the modern hives. And later on, this, like as you can see, for Apis Newton hive, it was developed. ISI A-type hive was developed, and for Apis mellifera, Langstroth hive was developed. The difference between these traditional hive and modern hive is that in modern hive you can easily manage the colonies. You can for while extracting the honey, there is no damage to the bees. You can go for if any disease is there, you can treat the colony. If any enemy is there, you can manage them, and you can extract the honey. So as I told you that I will explain later on. So these are the though six honeybee species are there in India, but these are the major four. These are the major one. I will explain these only. So first one is the Apis dorsata. As you can see, with the smoky wings, this is the Apis dorsata, very big size and very ferocious uh, honeybee. You might have seen the hives of Apis dorsata on this water tank and very tall trees, or on the rock cliffs. You will see the hives of Apis dorsata. Next is the Apis florea. This is also known as a small honeybee. Mainly, it constructs its nest in open as that of the Apis dorsata. Only a single hive is there, and mainly in small height trees, nearly 6 to 7 feet height. It mainly constructs its nest, or in the bushes, or in among cotton sticks. You will find this Apis florea hive. And then coming to the these Apis dorsata and Apis florea, these are actually the wild bees. We cannot domesticate them in the wooden hive because they like the open conditions and construct a single hive only. Then coming to the bees which we can domesticate, which one we can keep them in the wooden hive. Whatever the beekeeping I am talking about, that is because of these domesticated honeybees only. So first is this Apis mellifera. It is also known as the Western honeybee. Then coming to the Apis cerana, it is the Indian honeybee. So Apis cerana, it was in India from long back, but the problem with this Apis cerana was there, that in the this plain area like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, you can see the temperature is very high. So during very high temp, because of very high temperature, it mainly they abscond and they leave the hive, and the honey production is also very less. Um, from 5 kg to 10-15 kg maximum you can get from the Apis cerana. But in case of the Apis mellifera, even under very extreme conditions, it never actually leave its hive, and can tolerate the extreme these summer conditions of the northern plain region. And the honey production, on an average, you can say 25 to 30 kg honey you can get from an healthy colony, good strength colony. But this honey production from 25 to 30 kg, it may reach to 70-80 kg if you uh, do the super beekeeping. Means many more supers are there on the hive. So, and it mainly depend upon the migration, how many times you are migrating the colonies, how you are managing it. So with the proper management and with good strength, you can get even 70 to 80 kg honey from a single Apis mellifera colony. So this was all about the four major honeybee species which are present in India. So this Apis dorsata, Florea, and Cerana, they were already present in India. Okay, but Apis mellifera, it was introduced during 1917 in India, and from thereafter, it got now even northern, even southern regions, eastern, western, everywhere you will find this Apis mellifera. In addition to these, the stingless bees is also there. Mainly you will find in Nagaland, Jorhat, Kerala, but I will discuss mainly on this Apis mellifera only. So this is to just to show you how they construct their comb. So as you can see in Apis dorsata, very big size comb is there, and they have the nature of gregarious nature is there. On a single tree, many combs you will find. This is the Apis florea, but small size, palm size hive is there. Only a half kg, and on average half kg honey you will get from Apis florea. Mainly in bushes you will find it. Then this is the Epicyrana. In this case, one more difference between these wild bees and domesticated is that these Epicyrana, they form multiple comb, as you can see here. In case of Mellifera also, multiple combs are there. And this is Apis mellifera. As you can see, in one Langstroth hive, 10 frames are there. This I just show you who are the beginners, never seen the hive. So this is just to show that. And they also form the, both Apis mellifera and Sirana, they form the multiple parallel combs. Now coming to the importance of beekeeping. So though as the area, agricultural land, it is decreasing day by day with the farmers, but the government, it is advocating that you should go for some uh, other professions so that you can increase your income, like fisheries there, you can go for mushroom cultivation, uh, that a screen house vegetable production is there, and you can piggery is there, and you can keep the livestock. So many other enterprises are there that you can adopt to increase your substitute occupations are there, like you can go for them to increase your income. So on the similar pattern, this beekeeping is also one of the profession that the farmers, they can adopt it to increase their income. But what is the importance of beekeeping over other profession is that in case of beekeeping, you do not need a special land or any elaborated structures. As even mushroom cultivation you will do, you are keeping the goat or buffalo, cow, whatever you will keep. You have to, even for other professions also, you need certain land or some structure to keep the livestock. But in this case of beekeeping, you can keep them on the roadside, so no special land or elaborated structure is required. So the people who are landless laborers are there, they can also go for beekeeping. So unemployed youth, even the women and landless laborers, they can adopt it as a profession. Either even small and marginal farmers, even the big farmers, they can also adopt it. Small and marginal farmers, they can adopt it as a small profession to increase their income. Similarly, the big farmers, they can also adopt it as a beekeeping as a full-time profession or as a part-time profession. They can adopt it. It will not only give many high products to increase their income, but also increase the yield of the crop, whatever they have grown on their land. Or in case of beekeeping, there is no need for heavy initial investment. Initially, we say that you keep only 5 to 10 hives only required. So beginning, you just keep 5 hives or 10 hives at the maximum, because if you have not the don't have the proper training, then in because of the lack of training, it may be possible that you were not able to manage those hives properly, and then resulting into the killing of all the bees. So 5 to 10 means first you get expertise how to handle the honeybees, because they are living creatures. Like a living person, you have to manage them properly. It is a science as well as an art. Science actually tell us how, what are the techniques, and what are the techniques which are required to manage the colonies. And art, it tell us how we can manage them, what we have to do, because it needs art. And beekeeping is also known as art, because we should have some experience of managing the hive, then only we can deal with huge number of beehive. Even without any expertise, if you will go start it at very uh, big level, then there is may chance that you may lose all your bees. So better first you take the training and start with the 5 to 10 hives, and then later on you can take it to big level, uh, whether 100, 200, 300, 500, whatever the hives you required, you can you can manage them, you can keep those hives. And no need of continuous labor and heavy physical work is required. It require very simple equipment. In the beginning, you require hive, you require bees and hive, naturally they are must. And then one hive tool is there to manage the bees, and bee veil just to cover your face, gloves, and honey extractor, this bee brush to uh, remove the bees from the frames. So these type of small equipments, you just require them to start the beekeeping. Later on, when you take it to the big level, then you require more equipments. As I already told you, it is a multiple source of income. Multidisciplinary field is there, beekeeping. Not only we get honey and honey, pollen, propolis, bee venom, royal jelly, beeswax from beekeeping, but also because whatever the products we get from the bees, they have the medicinal properties also. So and very nutritious in, like honey, it's very nutritious in nature. And it beekeeping also give increase the yield by pollination services. I already told you, it helps in conservation of the biodiversity, and so it's very important source of livelihood, particularly for the rural or and unemployed youth and the landless laborers. Now coming to the beekeeping scenario in India. So though there is not any authenticated data is there, there is some uh, at many platform different figures you will get. But uh, as far as Apis cerana and Apis mellifera together colonies is concerned, approximately 34 lakh these colonies, these are in India, and the nearly 4 lakh beekeepers, they are managing these colonies. And as far as the honey production is concerned, sorry, it's here it's written eighth, it's ranked eighth, but it's ranked actually second. Now last year India it start ranking second in the honey production with the production of 4,46,000 metric tons. As far as the honey exports is concerned, India ranked fourth, and the value of exported honey is 1 lakh 47,000 lakhs. And now coming to the honey consumption. For honey consumption, later on one complete slide is there. There I will explain. Mainly, whatever the honey produced is exported to various countries, that is Germany, USA, UK, Japan, France, Italy, Canada, Spain, etc. And there is huge potential for beekeeping in India. Till now, only less than 10% of the existing potential has been utilized so far. And India comprises 7% of the world's flora. So, potential to keep about 2,000 lakh bee colonies that can provide employment to over 300 lakh people. It is there. This much potential is there. So, with this potential, we can produce over 10 million tons of honey and about 15,000 tons of beeswax. So, collection of forest honey and beeswax using improved methods can result in an additional production of at least 1,20,000 tons of honey and 10,000 tons of beeswax. So, huge potential for beekeeping is there. We have not explored the whole, because in India, lot of bee flora diversity is there. Even in, if we talk about Haryana, because I'm from Haryana, so nearly out of 12 months, 9 months, one or the other flora it is available for the bees. Only dearth period is very small. This is the scenario of beekeeping in Haryana. Uh, in Haryana, there is a vast potential and scope of diversification, and mainly eucalyptus, rapeseed mustard, pigeon pea, sunflower, berseem. These are the major bee flora crops here. Jandi is there, and during off season, bajra, jawar, maize, that is the source of pollen for the bees. About 250 bee floral species, including these fruit crops, vegetable crops, which provide pollen, nectar, and nectar as well as pollen both. These are available, and nearly 2,50,000 colonies are there, and honey production is more than 5,800 metric tons. And but in Haryana, we have the potential of keeping more than 4 lakh bee colonies. So till now I explained you that how we can get the uh, honey and other high products by keeping the bees. But this is not only keeping the bees. This is the one way of generating the income from the beekeeping profession. But there is a need for good artisans also, high manufacturers, agricultural equipments and machinery manufacturers. They can also get benefited from the beekeeping, because whenever new person he starts the beekeeping, he need the high beekeeping equipments. So for that purpose, this can be adopted as a profession, as a beekeeping equipment manufacturer. You can take it as a profession. And then beekeeping, it's successful only when it's migratory, because bees, they require nectar and pollen from the flora. Whatever the flower crop is there surrounding the bee colonies, they bees visit there and collect nectar, pollen from those flowers. So throughout the year they need this, but but throughout the year at a single location you can't get the flora which is providing nectar as well as the pollen. So they beekeeper, they have to migrate their colonies from one area to another. Like many times they migrate to Rajasthan for the toria, ajwain, and to Himachal Pradesh, to Bihar for lychee, and so they go on migrating from one place to another. But for migration, some transportation is required to provide transport for migration. This can be adopted as a one of the way of generating the income. Then even you are not producing the honey by keeping the hives, but you can trade it, produce product, produce quality, export. You can do, you can pack the honey, then sell it, then raw material dealer, etc. So these things you can adopt. Because most of the beekeepers, they sell their honey in bulk, but you can process it and can package them with beautiful labels, and you can sell them or you can export them. So this can also be adopted as one of the profession. And then there is need for value addition technologies. Value addition means, though honey, beeswax and other product everybody is producing, but how can you increase their value by adding some other material into it? So that on value additions there is still need to work on value added products. uh, and I will later on I will discuss about it also. So mainly from by keeping 100 bee colonies, approximately 5 lakhs per annum that can be earned. And every 10,000 honeybee colonies, directly or indirectly, they give generate employment for 1,500 individuals. So India as a country need 200 million honeybee colonies for pollination purpose, which can give employment to 30.9 million people. Only 20 to 25% of the floral sources in India have been utilized in the major beekeeping regions of the country. So still there is great self-help potential for rural people, tribal, hilly, marginal farmers, small farmers, landless laborers, etc., and great opportunities for, as honey provide the cash income. Beeswax, it's a twice costly to honey, and it is in great demand. And other high value products, I already told you, it can be adopted as a part and full time employment. Quality nucleus stone, because if some uh, farmer or some person want to adopt this beekeeping as a profession, though he will purchase the wooden hive and other material from one place, but still he will need the colonies. So naturally, you will need colonies also, live honeybee colonies with the queen, workers, drones, brood, etc. So starting this beekeeping, so quality nucleus stock provide, you can provide quality nucleus stock. This can be as one of the way of earning the money. And processing and value added products. Bee bee pollination and production of bee hive products, it will result into a double benefit. Then apitherapy also uh, getting these popularity these days, like buttocks and so many beauty treatments. People are, though in our country it's not that much popular or not that much, but it's getting momento these days. But apitherapy in China and other countries, if you will go, then it's a developed uh, business there. Apitherapy in India, it's still it's getting momentum. So pollination, through pollination, uh, there is yield enhancement from 15 to 20 times. These pollination services are more valuable. And increase in that yield of the crops, it varies from crop to crop. In some crops there is total double, which are highly cross pollinated. The totally they depend upon the beekeeping, this honeybees only. for pollination. Some are partially cross-pollinated crops are there. Even self-pollinated crops are also benefited from pollination. So it results into 20 to 80% increase in yield by pollination by the honeybees. Now I will discuss one by one all the products in very briefly that we get from the honeybees. So honey, as you know, it is a natural sweet substance produced by honeybees from nectar of these flowers or from secretions of plant. Like some when new leaves emerge, many a times along with those leaves, some this honeydew drops also are on the leaves. From those drops only also honeybees they collect the sweet substance and then convert it into the honey. Now when we talk about the honey, mainly this question come into everybody's mind that how bees they make the honey. So for making the honey, the forager bees, because in a hive there are three type of three caste of honeybees are there. One queen is there. In thousands workers are there, and then few in hundreds drones are there. So most of the work is done by the foragers. The worker bees. So among worker bees, there are the nurse bees and the forager bees. So forager bees, they when they go to the field, they collect nectar from flowers through their proboscis and stored it in their stomach, that is known as crop. That is not their true stomach, where the enzyme invertase start acting on this sucrose collected by the honeybees and convert them into the glucose and fructose. So forager bees then transfer the nectar to house bees or the house bees where they further enzymatic actions taken place on this nectar. Means they further add invertase into it and convert into glucose and fructose, and they remove excess of the water content from that and convert it into the honey and store it in the honeycomb. And mostly the moisture is reduced by their fanning activity. They during while they have to reduce the moisture from the or from the nectar, or they have to ripe the proper term is that when they have to ripe the honey, they move their wings, sorry, very vigorously, so that because of the movement of the wings, the moisture from that nectar get evaporated. Because when they collect the nectar from the flower, the amount of that water content it varies from 60 to 80, even 80%, maybe it may be there. But they go on evaporating the moisture from the nectar until it get reduced less than 20%. Then the nectar it's converted into honey. It is fully ripened. Then they close it with the wax secreted from their abdomen. So this is the process of forming the honey. As far as the type of honeys, though many type of honeys are there, but I just put here six type of honeys. First, nowadays more and more trend is of the comb honey. Means in this the honey, when honey is inside its natural beeswax comb, as such we cut it and pack it. That is the comb honey. Then coming to the chunk honey, it's a mixture of extracted honey with a piece of the comb honey. Then is the crystallized honey. Actually crystallization is the natural property of honey. Particularly if we talk about the mustard honey, it crystallizes naturally. So this is the crystallized honey, or you can say unprocessed raw honey. And then coming to the cream honey, it is a controlled crystallization. When you do under by yourself, then is it is converted into the creamed honey. It is a smooth spreadable honey. Then coming to the strained honey, mainly from honey separated from comb by simple straining, or by like from wild honey, mainly we extract by pressing. And then coming to the extracted honey, when we extract the honey by using the honey extractor by centrifugal force. These are the different type of honey. So as far as the average composition of honey is concerned, mainly 80 to 85% you can say in this mainly carbohydrates or sugars are there. That is mainly glucose, fructose, sucrose, maltose, and other reducing disaccharide sugars are there. Then some small amount organic acids, proteins, minerals, and water content is there. Mainly vitamins, if you will say, mainly B complex, vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, vitamin C, traces of A, D, E, and K, minerals like potassium, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, sodium, sulfur. So many minerals are there. Actually, as I told you, 80 to 85% sugars are there. But honey's medicinal value, it mainly depend upon these vitamins and minerals only. And as far as the uses of honey is concerned, as you all know, it is mainly used for its nutritional value, its sweetening nature, as an energy booster, and then medicinal values are there. After Corona, the consumption of this honey also increased in India. So mainly for wound healing, for during sore throat, as an antioxidant to boost immunity, it's used for cosmetic purpose, for culinary uses like in bakery, confectionery, and for Ayurveda and other rituals. Traditional uses are there. As far as the recommended daily intake of honey is concerned, in India only, uh, per capita honey consumption is 37.1 gram only. That is the now latest value is there. But during 2020, before actually Corona, only 20 gram per person consumption of honey was there in India. But now it's getting a popularity and its consumption is increasing. But still, 37.1 gram is very less. But as compared to the other countries like Switzerland and Germany, where more than 1.5 kg per person per year consumption is there. In USA, it is approximately 1 kilogram per person per year is there. But in India, honey, it is still used as a medicine only. When you got sore throat and some problem is there, then then you start using the honey. Otherwise, as a daily food or a regular dietary food, we are not using it. But it's very, if you want to uh, develop immunity or to take the maximum benefit of its medicinal value, so it's must that we on daily basis we consume the honey and make it as a part of our daily diet. As far as the healthy adult male is concerned, 30 to 50 gram per day can be consumed easily, and for children 10 to 15 gram. And for but the patients who uh, there's some problem of diabetes is there, they should actually consume honey after consultation with the doctor only. As I earlier told you, that as far as the honey production is concerned, India is the second largest producer of honey in the world, with a total production of approximately 1,46,000 metric tons. And it is the fourth largest exporter after China, New Zealand, and Argentina, with an annual export growth rate of 76.8%. This is just briefly explained how we can extract the honey. Suppose this is the hive. First, you have to smoke to calm the bees. Then you take the this bee frame, remove the bees with the brush. So this is the bee frame, and this is the completely sealed uh, bee frame. So then you have to remove whatever the sealing is there, wax sealing is there. You have to remove this sealing with this uncapping knife. Then you put it in the honey extractor, rotate it, and in this way, through centrifugal force, the honey will come out. Then you strain it, and one thing is that you just strain it with simple muslin cloth. That is known as the raw honey. Actually, raw honey is the best honey. Other way is that you do go for the processing, where through a certain temperature or many steps of filtration is there, it is filtered and then it is stored in the bottles. But this muslin strained honey, that is the raw honey, it is the best honey. As you go for processing, in as more and more processing is there, it just deteriorates the quality only. One thing I want to emphasize is that honey crystallization, it's a natural process, not a sign of impurity, because there is a need to generate the awareness among the people that if honey crystallized, so it's not a bad quality. Because many a times when people they take the honey from us, and after some time they came that it got crystallized, और ये हनी जम गया है तो ये अच्छा हनी नहीं है. But it is a natural property of honey. Actually, if it's crystallized, it's not like that it's it's impure, or thing some sugar is there in it, because honey crystallizes because of its sugar composition. When the glucose to water ratio is more than 2.1, honey crystallizes quickly. When it is less than 1.8, it remains liquid. It also depends upon the glucose to fructose ratio. And pollen and fine particles in honey, they are also act as nuclei for crystals. As I told you, if you just filter it through the muslin cloth, that is the raw honey, naturally it will solidify crystallize after some time, because lot of pollen is there in it. But pollen are actually good, they are the source of protein. But when you process it, actually you remove all the pollen from it and heat the honey on a particular temperature, then its tendency to crystallize it get reduced. So below 14 degrees centigrade, if you store it, faster crystallization is there, and above 25 degrees centigrade, slow crystallization is there. So best temperature for storage is 18 to 24 degrees centigrade. And that and crystallization of honey also depend upon the flour sources, like mustard, sunflower honey is there. They crystallize very fast because it depends upon glucose to fructose ratio. In these honey, glucose is more as compared to fructose. But if acacia is there, eucalyptus honey, they crystallize slowly, because in these honey, fructose is more as compared to the glucose. Next, first we now we have discussed about honey. Second high product is beeswax. Beeswax, it is secreted from the wax gland situated on the underside of fourth to seventh abdominal segment of worker bees. And whatever the honey is produced, 2% of that honey is the beeswax. So one colony can yield about 300 to 800 gram of beeswax in a year. But this is not a hard and fast rule. Sometimes even more than this depends upon the honey production. Sources of beeswax include honey cell cappings, bur and brace combs, and combs of the wild bees. And beeswax is mainly used for used in over 300 items. As the topic of my talk is beekeeping as an entrepreneurship, so that's why I'm discussing it, that not only from beekeeping you get the honey, but whatever the other products are there, you can use them and can uh, use to start your own profession. Like it can be used for candle making, shoe polish, vehicle and floor polishes, varnish, gum, carbon paper, electrical appliances, fabric and industry, wax crayons, metal casting and modeling, food processing and packing, and in cosmetic industry. So many uses of beeswax are there, mainly for making the lip balm. Nowadays many women, they, because lip balm is very easy to prepare from this beeswax, and it's very good for your lips, and you can get very good value of beeswax out of lip balm. So they are taking it as a profession. And mainly beeswax in beekeeping industry, it is used for preparing the comb foundation. As you can see here, this is the comb foundation. This comb foundation is used in beehive. When we give this comb foundation sheet on the bee frame, so the honeybees, they construct the new comb over it. Even candle making from this beeswax, it can be adopted as a profession on a small scale. Now, just briefly, very quickly, I will explain how we can get the beeswax. This is the solar wax extractor. So, so wax cappings after honey extraction, whatever the wax capping you get, if some comb during extraction it got broken, so that you can take. If because of some enemies or disease your comb is destroyed, that you can take. Even the wild combs you can put on one tray and keep it under the sun. Because of sun heat, the wax will melt and it will get collected at the bottom tray. Uh, this is how we can get the pure. If you don't have the solar wax extractor, then how we can uh, this get the pure beeswax from the wax cappings or other material. So this is the wax you, this type of material you have with you. Okay, so I either you, whatever the wax material is there that is not usable, you put directly you in this tub containing the hot water. Okay, or otherwise you take one muslin cloth, make a bundle of these wax cappings or burr brace combs and other broken and then dip them in this hot water. So what will happen if you keep them in the such uh, cloth, this muslin cloth, so whatever the impurities are there, some dust is there, body parts are there, bees are there, they will remain in this cloth, and pure wax, after melting, it will come out of this cloth and will remain in this hot water, or directly you can put them in the hot water, but later you have to strain this. So after some time you will get this type of pure beeswax, you will get it. Now coming to the bee pollen, as you can see here, it is the pollen pellets are there. So how the this pollen we can collect? First, I'm showing you how bees they collect the pollen. As you can see here, bee is there on the flower, and whole body is covered with the pollen. But on the hind legs of bees, one pollen basket is there. Pollen basket is nothing but one hairy structure is there on the hind leg. On among these hairy structure, the bees they pack the pollen, uh, moist pollen. Actually, they through their mouth they moist it and then pack it in this pollen basket on their hind legs. Here, as you can see, these pollen pellets, yellowish color pollen pellets on their hind leg. Here in the hive, they have stored this pollen. So now pollen, actually, I think you all know it is a male germplasm of floral plants, and bees they collect it in their hind legs. But how we can, as a beekeeper, we can collect this pollen? So for collecting the pollen, this type of pollen trap is used. As you can see in this pollen trap, these small holes are there. So this here you can see the hive, Langstroth beehive, and here this pollen trap is fixed at the entrance. So here entrance was there, that was used by the bees to enter into the hive. But on and that entrance we have fixed this the pollen trap. Now bees they have to move through these small holes only. When they will go through these small holes, the pollen pellet that is on their hind leg, it will fall down, and through this tray it get collected here in this tray. Through this strip it will collect here, like this type of pollen pellets you will see here, as you can see. And you can collect this pollen during the period of its excess availability, like during the rapeseed mustard uh, floral period. And this collected pollen, it can be used to feed the colonies during dearth period, or it can be dried and stored in refrigerator, and you can even sell it. It is used as food supplement in health clubs for muscle building. It is used as energy and nutritive tonic, which is added to tea or vegetable or fruit juices. It can also be added to energy snacks and other uncooked foods. It has also been included in skin scrubs. So many uses of bee pollens are there nowadays, and it is in huge demand. So through one trap, nearly 100 gram pollen per day can be collected. So suppose for in 1 month, for 20 days, if you're installing, then 2 kg pollen can be collected. Or for this mustard season, rapeseed thoria, rapeseed mustard season, if you go for 3 months, nearly 6 kg this pollen can be collected. And here too I have put 500 rupees, but its value varies according to the quality of the pollen you have collected. Nowadays even 1500 rupees per kg. This pollen it is sold by the beekeepers. So by selling this uh, pollen in addition to honey and beeswax, you can generate additional income. Here, as you can see, this is the pollen. Pollen has been collected and it's dried here and packed like this. Pollen is collected, dried, and then packed and stored in the refrigerator. It is in humans. It is mainly used for in beneficial in chronic prostatitis, reduce X-ray induced side effects, alleviate hay fever, allergic reactions, may support cancer prevention management, and for animals mainly nutritional supplement for race horses, component of artificial diets, and used in aquaculture nutrition also. Mainly in many nowadays, in, you can say in five-star hotels or many restaurants, to enhance the value of the drinks, shakes, snacks. Uh, it is used mainly as a for the decorating, or for it also enhance the value of that drink also. Now coming to the propolis. So till now we have discussed three products: honey, beeswax, pollen. Now coming to the fourth product that, in addition to these, we can get from the by keeping the hives. So that is the propolis. It is sticky resinous material collected by the forager bees from the exudates of the bud, bark, and wound of plant or trees. You might have seen when you just scratch or remove the bark of the tree, sometimes a uh, uh, sticky gond-like material that is secreted by the trees. Even some when new leaves come out of the uh, trees or branches, then at the base of that leaves, some sticky substance is there, but that is nothing but propolis. It has mainly antimicrobial properties are there, and main constituents are waxes, fatty acids, resins, and balsams. So bees, they use this propolis to plug the cracks and crevices in the hives, because the domesticated bees, they like the dark conditions. So, and the hive is formed of wood. So because of moisture conditions, sometimes there are certain cracks are there in the hive. So whenever some cracks are there, the bees, they try to cover or fill those cracks with the propolis, because it has antimicrobial properties. Because if some cracks we left, naturally ants and other enemies, they will get the way to enter into the hive. So they fill the cracks and crevices in the hive, varnishing the comb surface as a repellent against ants at the hive entrance. For that purpose also propolis is used. So very crude way you can get the propolis by scratching, but there are certain impurities are there in that type of propolis. So mainly by using the propolis screen, that is the scientific way of collecting the propolis. And mainly propolis, it is used in human and veterinary medicine, especially in skin and dental ailments. And nearly 1 kg per clonic can be produced in a year, and its value ranges from 1200 to 1500 rupees per kg. Here I have shown you how we can get the propolis. So here, as you can see on a tree, bees are collecting the propolis. So where the pollen is collected on the same hind legs, they have collected this. As you can see, this sticky reddish color, this propolis is there. And in the hive, on the frame, as you can see, this is the propolis. Okay, so to scientifically, so one way of already told you, you can scratch this, but naturally it will be impure. So scientifically collected these type of many types of plastic or cloth, nylon mesh type of these propolis screens are available. You have to fit them under the inner cover and then place it back on the hive. So what will bees they will do when you will put it back? So bees, they will fill it with the propolis. As you can see, they filled it with propolis. Here, this is the propolis. This is the propolis. Okay. So like this, here it is filled with propolis. So after, when it is filled with propolis, after 15 to 20 days, you remove it and keep it in the refrigerator, because when it's outside, it's very sticky. It's not possible to remove it. When you keep it in the refrigerator, it will become hard and brittle. So just by uh, scratching it, the small pellets of propolis, it will come out and you can collect them. Propolis, it is mainly used in creams and shampoos to deal with a host of human and pet skin conditions such as rashes, burns, insect bites, acne, shingles, ulcers. So many uses are there. Mainly in dental related problems, mainly in some toothpaste, these are being prepared by using the propolis, as you can see. Next product is bee venom. Uh, I think most of you might have, during your life, you might have encountered bee sting at least once. So the the bee venom, it can also be collected because it is synthesized in venom glands of worker bees. So to collect this bee venom extractor machine is used. So in this machine, the bees, they are exposed to a low current, 8 volt to 9 volt, under which, with which effect the bees sting a glass plate spread under the current carrying element wires and deposit their venom on the glass plank under the taffeta or the glass plate. I will show you actually once. So here, this is the bee venom extractor. As you can see, these are the these wires are there. In these wires, nearly 8 to 9 volt current is running in these wires, and the running time of this equipment is 45 minutes. Okay, under these wires, this glass plate is there, and we install this honey extractor at the entrance. Here, this is the entrance. Near the entrance, we install it, but nowadays we can keep it inside also. Okay, so when we install in the front of the hive, so the bees, whenever they try to enter into the entrance, they come in contact with these wires, so a small current, they get aggressive and then they sting on this glass plate, and when they sting on this glass plate, bee venom is extracted. And this equipment run for 45 minutes. After phoning 45 minutes, it automatically switch off. Then you remove it. As you can see, the bees, they are becoming aggressive and stinging on it. So this is the glass plate. So when you remove it, it looks very clear that nothing is there on it, but when you scratch it, this white powder, it get extracted like this. You have to store it in a dark color vial under deep freezer conditions, because it's very perishable. If you keep it in open, it will uh, reduce its medicinal qualities for which it's being collected. And bee venom, it is mainly used for treating the arthritis, hypersensitivity to bee stings, and several other ailments. So from, but bee venom from one colony, very small quantity of bee venom is extracted. So from 100 colonies, if you imply for extracting bee venom only, so in 15 days, only 5 to 6 grams of bee venom will be extracted from 100 colonies in 15 days. So 10 to 20, 12 gram in a 1 month. And the value is bee venom is 6,000 to 8,000 rupees per gram, approximately 60 to 80 lakhs per kg. So many more colonies are required to collect the bee venom in kilograms. So beekeepers, on by making a group, they can take this for collection of the bee venom. A single beekeeper, it's very difficult for him to collect at least 1 kg of honey. This, sorry, 1 kg of this venom, bee venom. At least you require if you want to sell it, because very small quantity, if you extract, it's very difficult to sell it. Also, on mass scale, it is required to take it as a profession. So now coming to the royal jelly, I think it's the last one. Royal jelly, it is mainly secreted by the honeybees. The purpose of royal jelly is to feed the uh, larvae which destined to be the queen. When the old queen somehow uh, become start secreting, actually start laying the unfertilized eggs, or queen die because of some reason, they have to form the new queens, then more amount of royal jelly is secreted. It is a secretion of hypopharyngeal and mandibular glands of the nurse bees in the ratio of 1 is to 1, and is a very rich source of the lipids, proteins, minerals, salt, vitamins. And so for the commercial scale production, we have one technique of producing uh, the queen bees on a large scale. So through that methodology, only royal jelly can be collected, because instead of producing the queens before the queen emerge, you have to stop it in midway to collect the royal jelly. And it is possible to collect about 800 gram of royal jelly from one bee colony in a year. It has a low shelf life, so it must be kept at very low temperature. Used in several medicines, cosmetics, and in dietary supplements. And its value is 4,000 to 5,000 rupees per kg for raw, and approximately 2 lakh per kg for processed. Here raw means if you this whitish cream like royal jelly you extract, it is value is 4,000 to 5,000, maybe sometimes more than this. But when you freeze dry it and form a powder, then its value ranges to 2 lakh per kg for processed, and it's sold at very high prices in international market as dry powder in capsule as a formulation with honey. This is the process how we can collect this royal jelly. Very quickly, just I will explain you. So this is the beeswax. This type of cups are formed. They are fixed on the this wooden bar, and then like this, and then the larvae is grafted. 24 hours each larvae is grafted and then given into the hive. So so that in a hive where the queen is not there. So in the absence of the queens, they all start forming the queen cells, as you can see. But before these queen cells are formed, after 3 days of grafting, within 3 days, they actually like this type of condition is there. They remove this larvae and collect this royal jelly. So this was just to explain you how we can get the royal jelly. Here you can see two attractive display of various cosmetic items in Germany and Argentina. So this is actually the value addition. By value addition, by good attractive labeling, you can earn much more than by simply selling the honey and its products. Now, value addition, honey can be used as food and food ingredient in baked products. Product of honey fermentation like honey vinegar and alcoholic beverages can also be formed in cosmetics. Now, huge market is there for honey, beeswax, propolis as cosmetic. They are used in cosmetics, and wherever uh, in package honey or beeswax is mentioned, its value is much more than that of a simple product. In various type of honeys are there, as you know, coriander, lychee, sunflower, multiflower. So by different attractive packaging with different type of honey, you can earn much more. Some value added products like honey, lemon, ginger, honey, and cinnamon, like these type of products can also be formed. So there is a huge opportunities, and some uh, your own uh, your own idea you require it, how you can use the honey and other high products. So by any idea that is there, you that it will get clicked, and you can earn a lot and lot from this profession, because this value addition added products of honey, it is un exploited. This field is still unexploited, and still lot of scope is there that you prepare your own products and can sell them. Then, as already told you, for bee pollination, mainly this in apple orchards, and in Maharashtra for pomegranate and onion seed crop, the farmers they are renting the bee colonies at the rate of 400 to 700 to 1500 per colony per month. So this can also be adopted as one of the profession. So till now I told you so many positive points, like you can earn a lot from beekeeping, but it's not like that. There are always some limitations or some constraints. Whatever you profession you adopt, there are certain challenges are there in every profession. So in this also there is certain challenges, like there is declining in the bee forage area is there, indiscriminate pesticide usage is there, even like some fire. Because of fire many colonies uh, they burn, because in northern India, though government is discouraging it that don't you burn the residues, but still, like after wheat harvesting or rice harvesting, the whatever the straw is there, the farmers they burn that. And because of those fires, sometimes the bee colonies, if they are placed nearby, they also come in contact with that fire, and they all, because these bee colonies are nothing but beeswax is there. So beeswax catch the fire very quickly. So they got all colonies they burnt because of this reason. So that is also a very big problem. And difficulties in migration of colonies, and nuclear stock production technology means that type of bees or queen which are very docile, as is their honey production is more there, the incidence of disease enemies is less, which are able to protect their colonies more efficiently. So the stock with the good qualities. So that is also the requirement. On technology for high value products, that is still need to be explored. Non adoption of scientific beekeeping management practices in India still, they are keeping just single hive. They are not doing the super beekeeping. The bottom board is attached. They are using that the bora type thing they are putting on. They are not using the inner cover. So still after a lot of training, but still the farmers, they are not adopting the scientific beekeeping. And then a poor access to credit facilities. Then the incidence of pests and diseases sometimes. Nowadays that hive beetle problem is there, so there certain constraints are also there. But still the prospects for beekeeping in India are very high. Even the government, they came out with the National Bee Board and National Beekeeping and Honey Mission. The purpose of National Beekeeping and Honey Mission is to promote the beekeeping and to promote the its pollination services. And for that purpose, many projects they have been given to the scientists, some FPOs and other stakeholders. Lots of trainings have been organized under this mission. Nearly 500 crore rupees they have been spent for this purpose, and because of this, they are very the this now last year, like India became the second largest producer of honey. So there are a lot of prospects for beekeeping is there. Subsidies have been provided by the government to the farmers. Nearly in Haryana, 85% subsidy is there. Suppose if someone want to start the beekeeping, there is provision of 85% subsidy. And so there is a growth of value added high products, and adopting is an agri entrepreneurship. That scope is there. There is expansion of pollination based agriculture, increasing diversification toward fruit, vegetable, oilseed and seed crops offer major scope for managed pollination by honeybees to enhance crop productivity, quality and farm income. So, in conclusion, I would like to say that beekeeping, it is not beneficial to the farmer or the beekeeper who is doing it by getting the honey and other high products, but it's actually benefiting the farmers also the nearby area, because the bees they can visit to 3 kilometer radius around. So whatever the crop is there, they will pollinate it. It will increase its quality as well as the quantity. So which in turn will increase the total production for the India. So it's not only beneficial for the farmer, but for the whole village, for the whole state, and for the whole country. So at the last, I would like to say that you adopt this honey as a routine diet, because in India still major problem is that the beekeepers they are not getting good price of their honey, because in India there is no demand. If demand is not there, naturally they are not getting the good price for their honey. Even in India itself, the people will start consuming the honey. Naturally more demand will be there. So we don't have need to export. Almost all the 90% of honey got this mustard honey got exported. So naturally here demand will be there. People will consume here. Because of increased demand, naturally the beekeeper they will get the more price for their produce. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for this wonderful session. Now, this is a doubt clearing session. So, if anyone is having any doubt regarding this topic, he or she may kindly post them in the chat box, and ma'am will address your query one by one. Anyone having any doubt, kindly type in the chat box. As I can see in the chat box, people are saying the session was so good. I think no one is having any doubt. You have explained everything pretty much clear.
Okay, ma'am.
So again, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your valuable insights and words, and also for gracious sparing your precious time with us today.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thanks.
Now, looking forward, it is my honor to introduce Dr. Kavita, Associate Professor and Dean at Guru Kashi University, Talwandi Sabo, Bhatinda. With 20 years of teaching experience, she had made remarkable contribution to teacher education and educational technology. Dr. Kavita has authored 6 books published extensively in reputed journal and developed a wide range of e-content to the benefit students and future educators. Her academic interests include happiness psychology, technology integration in education, and empowering the teachers with the innovative tool to serve society more than effectively. She has been selected as a mentor by NCTE for the National Mission for Mentoring School Teachers, served as a mentor for CEMCACOL. She led project and coordinated the MMTTC program at Guru Kashi University. Her active involvement with professional bodies such as CTE, IATE, and AIAET are further reflects her dedication to advancing teacher education. Dr. Kavita's global commitment to open and online education is evident through her work with UNESCO as OE 4B4BW program, where she had developed and mentored MOOCs, including one on the basis of on the basics of gardening for sustainable, healthy, and society, which was highly appreciated internationally. Beyond academics, she is also known for her motivational talks that inspires teachers, parents, and students alike. We are privileged to have her with us today to share her insights and wisdom. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for this nice introduction. And without taking much time, uh, let me share my screen. Just a Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Is it visible? Can you please make it full screen?
Just a minute. Just now it is okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, once again, thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with all the intellectual people present here. So the title of today's presentation is Assessment for Learning in the Digital Era. So let's start with some imagination. Imagine you have just completed a challenging online course and you have attended all the classes and all the lectures, participated in discussions, and even you help your peers too. But when it comes to final assessment, and you see that questions feel disconnected from what you have learned, how would that make you feel? I think very much anxious. So when we talk about assessment, assessments are more than just a set of questions. They are bridge between learning and understanding. And we can say it is a mirror that reflects not just what students know or but how deeply they have grasped the concepts. And when we talk about online learning or digital learning, where learners come from the diverse backgrounds, creating effective assessment is both a challenge as well as the opportunity. So before we begin, I am sharing just a minute, I am sharing a link in the chat. Just a minute. This session will be interactive, so I request all of you to kindly participate in the discussion, because through discussion we can learn more. Otherwise, it will be just a lecture only. So I am sharing a link where you'll find a poll, and you have to answer that poll only. Okay, just a minute. So I hope you find the link. So again, I'm sharing my screen. Yes. So when you click on the link, this screen will appear. I hope the link is working. Anyone? Yes, yes, yes. 19 votes, 20 votes. The votes are increasing. What comes to your mind when you hear the word assessment? This is just a brainstorming question, because lots of words are there. These are only 4 words. If anything other than these words comes to your mind, you can just click on this plus button, post button, and you can share that word also. Okay. 22 votes. Yes. The question is, what comes to your mind when you hear the word assessment? Stress, grades, एग्जाम फीवर होना पॉसिबल था. पहले एग्जाम फीवर हो जाता था जब हम छोटे थे, अब भी बहुत स्टूडेंट्स को होता है ना. तो स्ट्रेस, ग्रेड्स, लर्निंग और फीडबैक. सो लेट्स चेक द रिजल्ट्स. Yes. Okay. Most of the people said feedback, and okay. And 30% people said learning, 21.8 said grades, and 8.3% people said stress. Interesting to see how diverse your thoughts are. And this diversity is exactly what we face when designing the assessment in online learning. So today we'll explore how to create the assessment that reduces the stress and goes beyond the grades and truly enhances the learning. Okay, so again, I'm moving to my presentation. Just a minute. Yes. So now let us discuss why assessment matters in online learning. Assessments are not just tool to assign the grades, like we have taken the test and give the marks. They are not just the tools to assign the grades only, they are integral to the learning process. They guide the learners to reflect, to reinforce their understanding and identify the gaps. And when we talk about the instructors or teachers, assessment provide the valuable insights into how well students are grasping the material. And most importantly, effective assessments can motivate the students by giving them a sense of achievement. When you provide the feedback, they will get the motivation. And have you ever noticed how a well-designed quiz can spark the curiosity instead of stress? That is the power of meaningful assessment. And now the thing is, what makes an assessment effective? ऐसी कौन सी चीज है जो assessment को effective बनाती है? So in the chat, share one word or phrase that describe what made it effective. Was it clarity, engagement, practical relevance, or something else? Write in the chat. कोई एक वर्ड जो आपको लगता है ये मेरी असेसमेंट, कभी आपने एग्जाम लिया हो, टेस्ट लिया हो स्टूडेंट्स का, आपको लगा होगा कि ये जो असेसमेंट मैंने ली ये बहुत ही इफेक्टिव थी क्योंकि ये क्लियर थी, इसमें स्टूडेंट्स एंगेज थे, या प्रैक्टिकली ये रेलेवेंस थी, या कुछ और ऐसा हो सकता है. तो आप चैट में अपने आंसर्स को शेयर कर सकते हैं कि असेसमेंट को ऐसी कौन सी चीज है जो उसको इफेक्टिव बनाती है. Yes, Sarya. Anyone? Share your responses in the chat. इंटरैक्टिव बनाएंगे तो आपको भी इंटरेस्टिंग लगेगा, इंगेजिंग लगेगा. ऑनलाइन लर्निंग की ये थोड़ी सी ड्रॉबैक है. अभी मुझे नहीं पता कितने लोग ऑनलाइन हैं, लेकिन फिर भी वो हैं या नहीं है, बिकॉज यू आर म्यूटेड, आपके कैमरास भी बंद हैं. यस, गॉट द रिस्पॉन्सेस. ग्रेड्स, क्लैरिटी, ओके. आपने कहा कि ट्रांसपेरेंसी, वेरी गुड. इफेक्टिवनेस की जब हम बात करते हैं तो ट्रांसपेरेंसी इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट. थैंक यू डॉक्टर Siantan. Okay. Yes, engagement and active participation, unbiased. Totally agreed. Unbiased होना चाहिए assessment. Well done. So great responses. You have highlighted the, yes, justice also is there. You have highlighted the key qualities we'll be discussing today, like clarity, relevance, engagement, participation, unbiased, and justice. Next, let us discuss the importance of assessment in digital spaces. Because assessment in digital spaces serves multiple roles. They measure what students have learned, identify the knowledge gaps, and promote the active participation, especially when integrated with interactive elements. Because in traditional classrooms, teachers can read facial expressions and body language, but in online classes or online assessments, we don't have this facility to read the facial expressions or body language. As now I am not able to see your facial expressions or your body language, how you're feeling. And when we talk about the online assessment, these online assessment serves as the window or into the students understanding, that how much they understands. Okay, now let's talk about the categories of assessment. We often categorize the assessment into two types, that is formative and summative assessment. Formative assessments are like learning check-ins. They help both students and instructors identify the areas needing the improvement before the final evaluation. And when we talk about summative assessment, these are to evaluate the overall learning at the end of the module or end of the course. We can think of formative assessment as practice matches and summative assessment that's final tournament. Now let's talk about the impact of assessment on learner engagement. Because assessments are not only for evaluation, they are motivational. When designed well, they encourage continuous learning, they boost the student engagement, and they enhances the self reflection also. For example, a reflective journal, it is a kind of assessment. So if a reflective journal after an assignment help the students analyze not just what they have learned, but how they learn it. When they write the reflective journal, they can analyze their self, so they can learn and they can know how they learn it. But there are some challenges in online assessment, because online assessments uh, there are very much limited face-to-face interaction, and it makes it harder to uh, evaluate the understanding in the real time. And academic integrity, it is another concern, especially with unproctored assessment. For example, when we use Google form, these are totally unproctored exams, so there will be a challenge of academic integrity. And in addition to this, learners in online era or online system, the learners comes from diverse backgrounds. As in this session also, you all are from different backgrounds. And this makes it essential to design the assessment that are inclusive as well as accessible. Now, as we discuss the types of assessments in online learning, let us first discuss the formative assessment in detail. So formative assessments are designed to monitor the student learning as it happens. Like this is ongoing learning checks. As I am discussing with you, or when I will ask one question in the real time, this is a formative assessment, like ongoing learning checks, how you are learning. These are low stake, meaning they don't have heavily impact final grades, but they have high impact on learning outcome. A teacher get to know that how you are learning. So these assessments help identify areas where students struggle, allowing both instructors or teachers and learners to adjust the strategies before the summative evaluations. So we can think of formative assessment like a GPS, providing the continuous feedback to keep you on the track. When we talk about the examples of formative assessment, there are so many examples like weekly quizzes, reflection journals, discussion forum activities, and quick polls also. So there's one platform you all know, that is Swayam, this online learning platform. Their formative assessments can take various forms. For example, weekly quizzes that reinforce the concepts from recent lessons. And when we talk about reflection journals, where students document their learning journey, how they are learning and what they are learning. And discussion forum activities that promotes the peer learning, because you are discussing with your peers. And quick polls to evaluate the understanding in real time. So the key is to keep them engaging, concise, and relevant to the course material. And next is summative assessment. Summative assessment, these are typically high stakes assessment conducted at the end of the course or module to evaluate the cumulative learning or complete learning. They determine if students have met the learning objectives and are often graded formally. For example, include the final exams, major projects, or research papers. If formative assessments are like practice sessions, as we discussed earlier, summative assessments are the championship games. So some examples of summative assessments are final proctored exams, comprehensive projects, research papers, and capstone assignments. Final proctored exams that assess the comprehensive knowledge, and comprehensive projects where students apply the concepts they have learned to the real world problems. And when we talk about research papers that demonstrate the critical thinking and analysis, and capstone assignments that showcase the learning across multiple modules. So these assessments are designed to measure the depth of understanding, not just recall. Now let us discuss these in detail. First, let us discuss quizzes. Quizzes are versatile assessment tool, especially in online learning. To make them effective, we have to ensure that they align with our learning objectives. It is very, very much important that your assessment must align with your learning objectives. You can use a variety of question types like MCQs, true false question, matching type to test the different cognitive levels. We'll discuss in the later section about the learning levels. And provide the immediate feedback, especially for formative quizzes, so that students know where they stand or where they stuck. And randomize question and answer options to maintain the academic integrity or to ensure the fairness. Next, assignments and case studies. Assignments and case studies are powerful tools for deeper learning because they encourage the students to apply the concepts in real world scenario. When designing the assignments, we must provide the clear instructions outlining the expectations, and we must use the case studies relevant to the subject matter. ऐसा नहीं कि हम subject कोई पढ़ा रहे हैं और case study हमने कोई दे दी, to encourage the critical thinking. Then create the rubrics to ensure the consistent and transparent reading. So this approach of assignment is not only assess the knowledge, but also assess the problem solving skills. Next is the discussion forum as assessment tools, especially in online learning. Discussion forums are often overlooked as assessment tool. उनको लगता है, हम टीचर्स को लगता है कि ये तो डिस्कशन फोरम है, इसको असेसमेंट टूल की तरह कैसे इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. बट दिस इज वेरी मच इफेक्टिव असेसमेंट टूल because they are excellent for promoting the reflective thinking and peer-to-peer learning. As a teacher, you can assess the students based on the क्वालिटी ऑफ देयर कंट्रीब्यूशन, कितना कंट्रीब्यूशन किया है, क्रिटिकल एंगेजमेंट विद पीयर, कंसिस्टेंसी कितनी है पार्टिसिपेशन में. फॉर एग्जांपल, आस्क ओपन कैंडिड क्वेश्चंस like how would you apply this theory in a real world context, and this encourage the deeper dialogue. उससे क्या होगा, स्टूडेंट्स आपस में बातचीत करेंगे. बट बी श्योर टू सेट क्लियर गाइडलाइंस ऑन what constitute a meaningful contribution, कि किस तरीके से उनको डिस्कशन फोरम में आंसर देने हैं. Next is project-based peer assessment. When we talk about project-based assessment, these are excellent for evaluating higher order thinking skills. They often involve real-world problem solving and collaboration. Incorporating peer assessment that helps students develop critical evaluation skills. They learn to give and receive the कंस्ट्रक्टिव फीडबैक. लाइक अगर मैं कहूं कि आप में से दो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं जो लोग चैट में आपस में बातचीत कर रहे हैं, आप एक दूसरे को असेस करिए, तो उससे क्या होगा, एक कंस्ट्रक्टिव फीडबैक मिलेगी और एक दूसरे से हमें सीखने को मिलेगा. तो इसका एक और एग्जांपल हम ले सकते हैं. इन अ मैनेजमेंट कोर्स स्टूडेंट्स माइट वर्क ऑन अ बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी प्रोजेक्ट एंड इवैल्यूएट ईच अदर्स कंट्रीब्यूशन. So, but make sure to provide again clear criteria for projects and peer review to maintain the fairness. Then comes proctored exams. Proctored exams आप सबने देखा होगा स्वयं में जो NTA टेस्ट लेती है या नेट का जब एग्जाम होता है, तो these are the proctored exams. एक पूरा सेटअप उनका लगा होता है जहां पूरी एकेडमिक इंटीग्रिटी के साथ एग्जाम्स होते हैं. These are common for summative assessment. जब स्पेशली हम प्रॉक्टर्ड एग्जाम की बात कर रहे हैं, टू एंश्योर द एकेडमिक इंटीग्रिटी. हाउ वुड दे कम विद चैलेंजेस? बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस है क्योंकि बहुत बड़ा सेटअप लगाना पड़ता है ना. सो द चैलेंजेस विल बी लाइक टेक्निकल इश्यूज हो सकते हैं, शेड्यूलिंग कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स भी हो सकते हैं, एंड एंश्योरिंग द फेयरनेस अक्रॉस डाइवर्स स्टूडेंट बैकग्राउंड्स. क्योंकि नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स ज्यादा है तो वहां पर हमें इस तरीके की बैकग्राउंड प्रॉब्लम भी हो सकती है. बट बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस इंक्लूड कंडक्टिंग ट्रायल रन्स. हम कुछ ट्रायल रन्स कर सकते हैं, प्रोवाइड क्लियर टेक्निकल इंस्ट्रक्शंस दे सकते हैं, एंड हैविंग सपोर्ट टीम अवेलेबल ड्यूरिंग द exams. But consider using question pools and randomized formats to maintain the integrity even in online environment. Next, polls and surveys for instant feedback. Don't underestimate the power of simple tools like polls and survey. हमने अभी किया पोल, जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया तो मैंने एक पोल से स्टार्ट किया था. तो वो पोल क्या है? वो पोल भी आपका एक असेसमेंट टूल है. उससे क्या पता चल रहा है? एक एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन पता चल रही है, आपका इंटरेस्ट पता चल रहा है, आपकी बैकग्राउंड नॉलेज पता चल रही है. सो दे आर ग्रेट फॉर क्विक नॉलेज चेक्स, एकदम से इंस्टेंटली गैदरिंग स्टूडेंट ओपिनियंस, आइडेंटिफाइंग लर्निंग गैप्स इन रियल टाइम. And for example, you could start a session with a poll like which assessment type do you find most challenging? कौन सा assessment का type है जो आपको बहुत ज्यादा challenging लगता है? So this engages the learners and help you tailor the session accordingly. And they also break the monotony of long lectures. अगर मैं ही बोलती जाऊं तो वो एक बहुत monotony हो जाएगी. And keep the energy up. Polls और surveys क्या करते हैं? हमारी energy को up रखते हैं. Now, let us discuss designing effective assessment. This is very, very much important part. First, we'll discuss about the principles of effective assessment design. Because now we have covered the types of assessment. Now focus on designing the effective assessment. Good assessments are built on the following principle, these 4 key principles. First is alignment with learning objectives. This is very, very much important. आप क्या चाहते हैं कि आपने ये चैप्टर क्यों पढ़ाया, आपने ये जो कंटेंट पढ़ाया, जो कोर्स पढ़ाया, ये क्यों पढ़ाया? उसका कोई लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव था? When you have the learning objective, with the help of assessment, you can check that my learning objectives have been achieved or not. So there is a alignment between learning objectives and assessment must be there. Every assessment should directly align with your course learning objectives. Second, clarity and fairness. As one of the participants said, then instruction should be crystal clear with no room of ambiguity. Clear instructions must be there. Then reliability and validity. The assessment should consistently measure what it is supposed to measure. आप creativity check करना चाहते हैं तो आपका question creativity से related हो. not on the personality का कोई question पूछ ले या किसी और topic का question पूछ ले, तो reliability and availability must be there. Then learner-centered approach. Design the assessments that cater to diverse learning styles and background. I am saying again and again, when we talk about online learning, there is diverse learning community with different background. So we have to take care of this learner-centered approach. And when these principles are in place, assessment don't just measure the learning, they enhance the learning. Now, aligning assessment with learning outcomes. For this, we first have to define clear learning objectives. And for this, we must use Bloom's taxonomy, where we can map the objectives to assessment types. So when we use Bloom's taxonomy to identify the cognitive level, I hope you all know about Bloom's taxonomy. Have you heard about Bloom's taxonomy? How many of you have heard about Bloom's taxonomy? 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Write in the chat, yes or no. No, yes, no. Some people said yes, and some yes. Remember, there are 6 levels, Jaswinder. Yes, remember, Jaswinder is sharing in the group. Yes, first level is remembering. Applying, very good, very good. Jaswinder is my good student. Very good, Jaswinder. I'm proud of you. Analyzing, this is 4th level. Evaluating, and last is, here it goes, creating. Very good. Thank you, Jaswinder. Thank you so much. So Bloom's taxonomy is the classification of learning objectives. These are 6 levels of learning. First, the student will remember, then they'll understand, then they'll apply the knowledge, then analyze, and then evaluate, then create the knowledge. So when we frame the learning objectives, we must follow these 6 levels of learning objectives, 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Remembering, understanding, and applying, these 3 levels are lower level, lower order thinking skills, and analyzing, evaluating, and creating, these 3 are higher order thinking skill. So we must define the clear learning objectives based on these 6 levels. Then only we can map the objective to the assessment types. Next, we'll discuss about the smarter criteria for assessment design. When you frame the objectives, your objectives must be smarter. Smarter means your objectives must be specific. What you want to achieve, what is your objective, that should be specific, that should be measurable. After assessment, you can measure that objective, so that must be measurable, then attainable, then relevant, time bound, exciting, and then last, reward. So specific means you have to focus on clear learning goals. Measurable means can be objectively evaluated, and attainable or achievable means realistic given the learner's level, and relevance connected to the real world, time bound, exciting, and that must be exciting, and that must be rewarding. So there must be smarter criteria for assessment design. Now, designing clear and effective instructions. Clarity is the key when giving the assessment instructions, because ambiguity, if there's ambiguity, it can lead to the confusion and inconsistent results. Like कई बार एग्जाम्स देके हम बाहर आते थे तो हम पूछते अरे इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर क्या आना था, तो साथी पूछते थे इसमें ये लिखना, ओ शिट मुझे तो क्वेश्चन समझ नहीं आया या इंस्ट्रक्शन समझ नहीं. तो देयर is no room for ambiguity, because this can lead to confusion, and after confusion that can lead to inconsistent results also. So here's how to improve the clarity. Be concise. How? Avoid long and complex sentences. Use action verbs like analyze, compare, describe instead of verb terms like discuss. Okay, be specific, like analyze, compare, or describe. You can provide some examples or sample responses also when appropriate to set clear expectations. For example, instead of discuss climate change, you could say explain the causes of climate change and analyze its socio-economic impact with 2 case studies. The question is now very much specific with some action verbs. Okay. Now these are the Bloom's taxonomy for assessment design. These are the 6 levels, as Jaswinder has already discussed. Now the next we are will discuss crafting effective multiple choice questions. बहुत लोगों को लगता है मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस को फ्रेम करना बहुत आसान है. क्वेश्चन लिखा, 4 ऑप्शंस बना दिए, बट क्वेश्चन लिखना तो आसान है. When we frame the 4 options, that is very much tedious or difficult task, because these MCQs are very much common in online learning, because but they often test recall. Generally क्या होता है, वो recall को test कर लेते हैं. For example, मैं पूछूं कि गांधी जयंती कब होती है ना, तो एक पर्टिकुलर आंसर आएगा 2 अक्टूबर. सो दे जस्ट टेस्ट द रिकॉल रादर देन कोई ऑफिशियल थिंकिंग उन्होंने नहीं की, एकदम बस याद किया और उन्होंने आंसर दे दिया, है ना. सो योर MCQs must focus on the higher order thinking. You can use the scenario, अगर ऐसा होगा तो क्या होगा, तो वहां क्या होगा, वो थिंकिंग चलेगी, हायर ऑर्डर थिंकिंग होगी. सो वी कैन यूज द सिनेरियो दैट रिक्वायर एप्लीकेशन, एनालिसिस और इवैल्यूएशन, एंड वी कैन अवॉइड एम्बिगुअस ऑप्शंस. एवरी डिस्ट्रैक्टर, एक सही आंसर है, बाकी 3 डिस्ट्रैक्टर्स हैं. एवरी डिस्ट्रैक्टर शुड बी क्लियर एंड प्लॉजिबल, और रेंडमाइज आंसर चॉइसेस टू मिनिमाइज गेसिंग, तब गेस नहीं कर पाए स्टूडेंट्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन हम पूछ रहे थे, व्हाट इज फोटोसिंथेसिस, but instead of this we can ask which of the following scenario best demonstrates the process of photosynthesis. आपने 4 सिनेरियो दिए और उन सिनेरियो में से उसको एक चूज करना है कि कौन सा फोटोसिंथेसिस है. वहां रिकॉल नहीं आएगा, वहां क्या होगा, वहां वो एप्लीकेशन, एनालिसिस और इवैल्यूएशन या हायर ऑर्डर थिंकिंग स्किल्स यूज होंगी. देन डिजाइनिंग ओपन एंडेड. अभी तो हमने एमसीक्यूज की बात की कि असेसमेंट में हम एमसीक्यूज कैसे डिजाइन करेंगे. नाउ विल डिस्कस डिजाइनिंग ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चंस इफेक्टिवली. ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चंस encourage deeper thinking and creativity. When designing them, use clear focused prompts to avoid vague answer, कि कुछ भी जो उसने एक वर्ड देखा, उस एक वर्ड को देख के उसने कुछ भी लिख दिया, तो वेग आंसर्स आएंगे आपके पास. Define expectations, ki what you are expecting. You can mention the word limits, kitni word limit, you can mention the structure, you can mention even key points, ki what key points you are expecting to cover from the student. For example, instead of describe leadership, this is a question, describe leadership, you can ask compare transformational and transactional leadership styles with real world example. So this approach enhances the analytical thinking and real life application. Now designing authentic assessment, because we are living in 21st century, so authentic assessments are must, because authentic assessments are designed to reflect real world challenges. They engage the students in tasks that demonstrate practical application of knowledge. For example, case studies based on industrial scenarios, simulation exercises or virtual labs, project-based assessment tied to the real world issues. For example, instead of traditional test in a business course, assign the students to create a marketing strategy for a startup. This is a authentic assessment. Now, designing rubrics for fair and transparent grading. Rubrics is really very much effective and interesting. A rubric is a scoring guide that outlines the criteria for grading. Rubrics helps to ensure the fairness and consistency, especially when we talk about ऑनलाइन लर्निंग. ऑनलाइन लर्निंग में भी जब हम बात करते हैं मूक्स, यानी कि मैसिव ओपन ऑनलाइन लर्निंग, जहां पर जो मास है, जहां पर जो नंबर ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स है वो बहुत ही ज्यादा है. जब हम ऑनलाइन लर्निंग में मूक्स में बात कर रहे हैं, वहां रूब्रिक्स बहुत हेल्प करती है. इसके जो की कंपोनेंट्स हैं दैट इंक्लूड द क्राइटेरिया. रूब्रिक एक टेबल है, आपने इसमें एक क्राइटेरिया रखा. क्राइटेरिया मींस व्हाट स्किल्स और नॉलेज आर बीइंग असेस्ड. ओके, performance levels. First is criteria, first component is criteria, second is performance level. Performance level description of what is excellent, good, fair or poor work looks like. For example, you are grading an essay, so you have some criteria. You will check the vocabulary, you will check the grammar, you will check the handwriting, and what else, there are so many things you can check when you have given the essay writing. So there is a criteria. These are the skills. Then performance level. For example, when we talk about vocabulary, you can give some performance levels like excellent, vocabulary is excellent, good, fair, or poor. Then there will be some descriptors, clear explanation of expectations at each level. You can share the rubrics with students beforehand because it helps them to understand they'll be evaluated. Like अगर essay test मैंने करना है तो मैंने पहले ही rubric दे दिया कि you will be evaluated on these levels. तो उसको पता होगा मेरी vocabulary भी चेक होगी, मेरी grammar भी चेक होगी, मेरी creative writing भी चेक होगी. तो वो जो तैयारी करके आएगा, वो जो पढ़ के आएगा, वो उसी तरीके से पढ़ के आएगा. तो rubric is very, very much interesting. Now, ensuring accessibility in assessment design. This is accessibility is very much critical in massive open online courses or online courses because learners come from diverse backgrounds with various different needs, as we have already discussed. So ensure your assessments are inclusive by using simple and clear language. सबको समझ में आनी चाहिए. Providing alternative formats like test description for images. कोई image दी है उसका description है या कोई video दिया है तो video में captions दी है. Considering the cultural sensitivity in a question design. For example, if using case studies, ensure that they are relatable to a global audience, not just one region or one demographic. Now, grading and feedback strategies in SWAYAM or online courses. This is a crucial part of assessment design when we talk about this effective grading because it does more than assign the scores. सिर्फ उसका ये मतलब नहीं कि हाँ हमने assessment की और हमने सिर्फ score दे दिया. It reflects how well students have achieved learning outcomes because good grading practice also motivate the learners. जैसे हमने पहले बात की तो highlighting their progress and areas of improvement. And next is consistency and fairness. ये दोनों तो की है, especially in large scale platforms जैसे स्वयं है या फिर आप अपना कोई भी MOOC या कोई भी online course बना रहे हैं. तो when grading challenge you have faced in your courses, तो आप उन challenges को जो आपने principles पढ़े उनके basis पे solve कर सकते हैं. Now, importance of effective grading in MOOCs or online courses. जब हम fair grading की बात करते हैं तो there must be objectivity, ट्रांसपेरेंसी एंड कंसिस्टेंसी. जैसे एक पार्टिसिपेंट ने स्टार्टिंग में बोला कि ऑब्जेक्टिविटी होनी चाहिए, ट्रांसपेरेंसी होनी चाहिए, कंसिस्टेंसी होनी चाहिए. ऑब्जेक्टिविटी ग्रेड्स बेस्ड ऑन क्लियर क्राइटेरिया, नॉट पर्सनल बायस. दैट इज ऑब्जेक्टिविटी. Okay, there must not be personal bias, and let students know how they'll be graded by sharing the rubrics or guidelines upfront. So there will be transparency. And when multiple instructors or multiple teachers are grading, ensure the alignment through calibration or sessions और common rubrics अगर होगी तो consistency भी हमारी बनी रहेगी. उसके बाद ऑटोमेटेड ग्रेडिंग बहुत MOOCs में या स्वयं के प्लेटफॉर्म पे बहुत ज्यादा चलती है क्योंकि इससे टाइम बचता है. ऑटोमेटेड ग्रेडिंग है. गूगल फॉर्म क्या करता है? गूगल फॉर्म को आपने एक बार बना दिया तो वो ऑटोमेटिक ग्रेडिंग करके स्टूडेंट्स को ग्रेड प्रोवाइड कर देता है. मैनुअल ग्रेडिंग, अगर आपने कोई ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चन दिया है तो उसमें मैनुअल ग्रेडिंग होगी. उसके बाद रूब्रिक्स, इसको हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं कि रूब्रिक्स क्या है, और कंसिस्टेंट ग्रेडिंग क्योंकि उसमें क्लियर क्राइटेरिया है, परफॉर्मेंस लेवल है, सब्जेक्टिविटी रिड्यूस है, और देन प्रोवाइडिंग मीनिंगफुल फीडबैक. जब ऑनलाइन लर्निंग में असेसमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं तो फीडबैक, वैसे हम इसको डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, फीडबैक इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट पॉइंटिंग आउट मिस्टेक कि हमने क्वेश्चन में पेपर चेक किया और हमने फीडबैक दी कि यहाँ गलती है, ये गलती है. दिस इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट पॉइंटिंग आउट मिस्टेक्स ओनली, इट इज अबाउट गाइडिंग द ग्रोथ. मीनिंगफुल फीडबैक हेल्प द लर्नर्स अंडरस्टैंड देयर स्ट्रेंथ एंड हाउ टू improve, boosting engagement and motivation. Imagine submitting an assignment and getting a generic good job needs improvement. That's not helpful. इन तीनों में डिफरेंस है. तो specific feedback like your argument was strong but consider adding more data to support your conclusion. अगर आप इस तरीके की फीडबैक देंगे तो वहां क्लियर कट इंस्ट्रक्शन मिल रही है कि मुझे कहां पे इंप्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है और कहां मैंने जो आंसर था मेरा वो बहुत बढ़िया लिखा था मैंने. तो टाइप्स ऑफ फीडबैक ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज में डिस्क्रिप्टिव फीडबैक भी हो सकती है, फॉर्मेटिव फीडबैक भी हो सकती है, और समेटिव फीडबैक भी हो सकती है. डिस्क्रिप्टिव फीडबैक में दैट फोकसेस ऑन स्पेसिफिक एरियाज लाइक यू एनालाइज ऑफ योर केस स्टडी इज इंसाइटफुल बट लैक्स रियल वर्ल्ड एग्जांपल. आपने पूरा डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया उसका. फॉर्मेटिव में गिवन ड्यूरिंग द कोर्स टू हेल्प द स्टूडेंट इंप्रूव बिफोर द final assessment. Summative provided at the end, summarizing the overall performance. The most impactful course blend all the three to support continuous learning. जब भी ऑनलाइन कोर्स की बात करेंगे, ऑनलाइन लर्निंग की बात करेंगे, तो आपको तीनों का ब्लेंड रखना होगा, डिस्क्रिप्टिव, फॉर्मेटिव और समेटिव फीडबैक. ये कुछ स्ट्रेटजीज हैं कंस्ट्रक्टिव फीडबैक की. बी स्पेसिफिक, यूज द सैंडविच मेथड. सैंडविच मेथड की अगर हम बात करते हैं, सैंडविच मेथड इज स्टार्ट विद अ पॉजिटिव, प्रोवाइड द कंस्ट्रक्टिव क्रिटिसिज्म एंड एंड्स ऑन एनकरेजिंग नोट. इसका अगर एग्जाम्पल की बात करूं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल ग्रेट इंट्रोडक्शन, स्टार्ट विद दिस वर्ड ग्रेट इंट्रोडक्शन. Consider expanding on your analysis in the body. Your conclusion ties it all together nicely. तो ये सैंडविच मेथड है. ऊपर वाला सेंटेंस भी आपने एक अच्छा पॉजिटिव फीडबैक दिया, लास्ट भी, और सेंटर में उसको बता दिया कि आपको कहाँ इंप्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है. तो दिस इज अ स्ट्रैटेजी फॉर कंस्ट्रक्टिव फीडबैक. यू कैन फोकस ऑन एफर्ट because acknowledge the improvements even if the work is not perfect, but this motivates the learners to keep on trying. यूजिंग पियर एंड सेल्फ असेसमेंट फॉर फीडबैक. फीडबैक के लिए हम ये यूज कर सकते हैं. ऑनलाइन लर्निंग में जनरली पियर और सेल्फ असेसमेंट, दीज आर पावरफुल टूल्स फॉर फीडबैक. जब हम लार्ज क्लासेस की बात कर रहे हैं ना, दे एनकरेज द स्टूडेंट्स टू रिफ्लेक्ट ऑन देयर वर्क एंड डेवलप द क्रिटिकल इवेल्युएशन स्किल्स. जब सेल्फ असेसमेंट की बात करते हैं, और पियर असेसमेंट की बात करते हैं, दैट प्रोवाइड द रूब्रिक्स टू गाइड द स्टूडेंट्स ऑन हाउ टू गिव कंस्ट्रक्टिव फीडबैक. और फीडबैक जब हम ऑनलाइन लर्निंग में देते हैं तो बहुत सारी मिस्टेक्स होती हैं. कभी कभी वर्ड कमेंट्स होते हैं, ओवरली क्रिटिकल हो जाते हैं, और इग्नोरिंग पॉजिटिव्स को हम इग्नोर कर देते हैं. सो दिस इज ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड. दिस इज फॉर असेसमेंट्स इन online learning. If you have any questions, then you can share your questions in the chat box. So जब हम बात कर रहे हैं असेसमेंट की, सो देयर इज अ टाइप ऑफ असेसमेंट, gamification type. You want to play one game, this is related to assessment. You can design this game after playing on your own. Are you ready? Do you want or not? यार थक गए, डिनर टाइम होने वाला है. You want to play a game? थोड़ा सा रिफ्रेश हो जाएंगे. यस 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 यस, ओके. So I'm sharing a link in the chat box. Just click on this link and enjoy the game. और इस गेम को खेलने के बाद, ये 2 मिनट की गेम है, इस गेम को खेलने के बाद वॉल्यूम जरा अप करके खेलिएगा, मजा आएगा आपको इस गेम को खेलने में. और जो आपके स्कोर्स होंगे वो आप चैट में शेयर करिए. ओके, जस्ट क्लिक ऑन दिस लिंक. एक एड आएगा छोटा सा, क्योंकि ये फ्री वर्जन हम यूज कर रहे हैं. जल्दी से खेलिए और अपने स्कोर्स को आप चैट में शेयर करिए. फिर मैं सिखाऊंगी ये गेम कैसे बनानी है, और आप, आई एम श्योर विद इन 2 मिनट्स आप अपने सब्जेक्ट की गेम डिजाइन कर लेंगे. विद इन 2 मिनट्स. दिस इज अ सॉर्ट ऑफ फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट. हमने अभी बात की थी फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट की. सो दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट इन ऑनलाइन लर्निंग. So I'm waiting for your scores. कोई मुझे बताएगा ये लिंक काम कर रहा है, आप खेल रहे हैं कि नहीं खेल रहे हैं? Are you playing? Okay, thank you. Swinder, yes. 71, 57 scores आने शुरू हो गए. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this game. Yes or no? 100. 85. Great game. Yes. Good. Thank you so much, Sudhir ji. It's good for learning. Yes, absolutely, Jaswinder. It's very good for learning. कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि स्टूडेंट्स कहें कि टेस्ट देने के बाद मैम फिर से एक टेस्ट और ले लो, लेकिन जब आप इस तरीके से असेस करेंगे ना स्टूडेंट्स को, तो स्टूडेंट्स कहेंगे मैम वंस मोर. So now you want to learn how you can create this game. Thank you, Megha ji. Thank you, Shiva ji. So you want to learn? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, Mohit ji. Yes, yes, this. Okay, okay. Just it is a game for 2 minutes only. I'm sharing a link in the chat. Just a minute. So this is educaplay.com. Just click on this link. लॉग इन करिए. लॉग इन करने के बाद आपको एक क्रिएट का ऑप्शन दिखेगा. जस्ट क्लिक ऑन दैट क्रिएट, और इसमें बहुत सारी ऑप्शंस आएंगे. देयर विल सो मेनी ऑप्शंस, लाइक यू कैन फाइंड दिस फ्रोगी जंप्स एज यू हैव प्लेड नाउ. You will play it, match the game, true, false. There are so many options available in this Educa Play. So you can design your own game. And the interesting thing is that this is AI tool. Just write your topic on the in the box, and you will get your game ready within 2 minutes, just like Maggie. Okay, so this is very much interesting. Your students will enjoy, and it helps to enhance their learning. You can assess your students. So thank you so much, Dr. Mohit. Thank you everyone for patient listening. And thank you, Deepti Raj. Thank you, Dr. Gurpreet. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your insightful and valuable words, and also for the gracefully sparing your precious time to be with us today. It was a great pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you.
So now is the time for doubt clearing. If you guys have any doubt, kindly type in the chat box. Ma'am will address your doubts one by one.
There are so many platforms like this, Educa Play. There is Interacti, there is Glucat. You can try these platforms. These are assessment tools specially designed for online learning. So we'll take another session for these tools.
I think the session was pretty much clear. No one is having any doubt. You have explained everything so well.
Thank you.
Fine. Thank you for joining us today, ma'am. Now, I
Thank
also warmly welcome and thank each one of you for this week of learning, collaboration, and innovation. May future 2026 faculty upgradation and training, upskilling for researchers and education, sow the seeds of knowledge, nurture the spirit of entrepreneurship, and harvest the fruit of sustainable growth for generation to come. Now, looking forward, respected dignitaries, esteemed faculty, and dear participants, on behalf of organizing committee, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all who made for the future 2026 a resounding success. We are deeply thankful to our visionary leaders and guest speakers for sharing their wisdom and inspiring us towards the academic excellence. Special appreciation goes to the faculty and researchers who embraces this journey for upskilling and innovation with such enthusiasm. We acknowledge the tireless efforts of our organizing team, partners, and collaborators whose dedication brought this program to life. Finally, we thank each participant for their active engagement and ensuring that the spirit of the learning and collaboration continued beyond this event. Together, we move forward towards a brighter, more sustainable future in education and research. Once again, thanks to you all for being a part of Future 2026. And thank you for your patience, trust, and precious time and to be here with us today. Once again, thank you, everyone. You may now leave the meeting.